To hug or to not to hug? That is the question today on the BCM Podcast with my co-hosts, Brad Searle and Michael Searle. What's going on, guys?
Interesting.
We're not in the right spot.
I don't see. What the fuck is happening? This is not okay.
Charles needs to be to my left.
This is a PG-13 show, so please don't curse. So anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in.
My last name is not Searle. There is no ring on this finger, so.
Oh, sorry. Brad Swail.
If you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. I think that's what Jay-Z sang, right?
Maybe. Brad Swail, how you guys doing today? Today is for those who are watching, this is not our usual time. This is not our usual setup. Things are a little bit different. We're trying some things out, so please let us know what you think. We are not live. Obviously, we have pre-recorded this, so thank you for joining and tuning in.
We're not doing live?
No. We're releasing in a couple hours.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that?
I didn't know that we were not going live. I didn't know we weren't live streaming. It's fine. I don't. Hey, I'm just rolling with it. All right, guys. I'm here.
Wow.
What's the next line? I'm here. I'm
queer.
Oh, there it is.
Well, for those who are just tuning in, please like, share, comment. Let us know what you think. Give us some show topics, some feedback. Today we'll be talking about Onijah Robinson, 20K right now.
Up front.
I've been obsessed with this story for like a week. This is great. But we have a lot to talk about. This is a great show. So where do you guys want to dive in first? I mean, we've got enough.
When I host, that's what I say. Where should we start? And your response every single time, Charles, is you're the host.
Well, here's the thing. When you say it, you ask.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
When you say you wait and ask for an answer, I was just going to dive in. I was just being courteous and pretending that I cared where you wanted to start. So today, we're going to start with USAID funding, particularly for me.
Hey, Charles, before we begin, can I make a quick production note for you, sir?
Sure.
I think last time, and as I was going through getting all the clips together for the show to be released on social media, it was difficult to find a lot of clips of you. And I think the problem was that you're not using a microphone, and that's fine. But with the way that StreamYard works, and I think this is also good information for our listeners, if two people are talking at the same time, StreamYard doesn't often pick up, it's not necessarily logical who's going to pick up, and it just kind of gets jarbled and you can't really hear what anybody's saying. And since you're the one without a microphone, I also have a microphone. It's just hidden because I have a green screen because I'm professional. You're not using one. So I think that your levels are just a little bit low. And so just be aware of that. Also for Michael's information, be aware of that as well. When Charles is talking, if one of us starts talking, I think StreamYard's going to pick us over him because we have microphones.
Okay, we'll step your Wi-Fi up. All right. And so we'll move on to the next one.
I reset it yesterday, so it's good.
You just talking about how my production is poor.
Oh, you know what? And also Lisa, one of our biggest fans, Lisa. You guys know Lisa, right?
Yes.
I got a bone to pick with her.
Do tell.
I got a bone to pick with her. I'm trying to find here we go. Look at this. I'm gonna share screen, and this is just really. Heartthrob Brad Swail, get Searle ATX. Lisa, you know what?
What is this? I don't understand.
I cannot abide. What?
Game recognized game.
Wait, is she calling you a heartthrob? Why would she call you a heartthrob and then put a question mark?
Someone else called me Austin's favorite heartthrob.
Drugs or like what happened?
No, local heartthrob Brad Swail. Are they on drugs? I mean, I don't think so, but it's a common sentiment, I think, among many people that see me.
Modest. And she's suggesting, maybe not. Maybe my Searle ATX.
And that's why I have a bone to pick with Lisa. But go on, Charles. I'm sorry to throw this off.
She has eyes.
Okay.
Well, we know how Lisa feels about black people.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding, Lisa. Let's start talking about this USAID thing because this was crazy. The response to it and the reaction was crazy. As most people know by now, earlier this week, they part of this whole DOGE restructuring, eliminating redundancy and looking for efficiency in government effort, they decided to essentially pause all of USAID funding and start to go through it. But separately, well, not separately, but within that, what was found was a lot of payments to news organizations that have carried water for a certain party for a very long time. The biggest one, I think, was that there is a lot of chatter about the payments to Politico, because when those were frozen, I think it was Tuesday, Politico also said they could not pay their staffers that day or that week. It was the first time that they missed pay for their employees. And people were saying, well, is it because you were mostly government funded and now you have no money? And it probably, but what do you guys think about this? What have you been hearing?
Well, I mean, USAID or whatever whatever organization. I think it was the Energy Department was one of them, was paying for like 400,000 prescription or subscriptions or something like that. Politico is often respected by the left as a news outlet, quote unquote. And I just have to think back over the last 8+ years and all the attacks on Donald Trump, and love him or hate him, whatever. You can not like his policies, that's fine. But people reference they read these news articles, and I'm just wondering if Democrats and leftists that have just gone to the tops of the mountains to scream how much they hate Trump, and they point to these news articles as to why, do they realize that the government was paying these companies to write this drivel?
Did they realize it? I doubt that they realized it.
Even what about now? Are they gonna second guess it? Is my question. Are they gonna be like, wow, was I duped?
No.
They're going to go full bore. They're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Why would you assume that? Wouldn't the logical thing to do would be to say, hey, I think like this isn't good. This is weird. Maybe I've been lied to.
We're talking about politics in 2025. This people just want things that reaffirm their beliefs. So no, of course not.
Is that what we need to be doing on the show?
I'm gonna. No, I mean, I think that the Democrats think that those news outlets, regardless of their source of funding, are telling them the truth. I don't know why, but that's what they think.
Well, I think there's one person here that agrees with them.
Who?
Charles.
I'm pulling up a little headline from Politico, and then I'm going to make a point. See that? I tweeted this in December of 2021. The great fake child sex trafficking epidemic.
It's fake, guys.
Oh, that's the Atlantic. That's the Atlantic, not Politico. But it's the same speed, And so my thought immediately when this came up is USAID is a front group for the CIA, right? We use it diplomatically in other countries. We give USAID gives money to other countries so that we can have diplomatic control or influence over them. It's a CIA front group, and this little we fund media thing is Operation Mockingbird, just in its newest form. Am I wrong? So because Politico, the New York Times, all these organizations that are receiving funds from USAID pump headlines, and then those headlines get spread on CNN and MSNBC, and they're infiltrated in all of the media. So who is the influence behind that money? I think it's the CIA.
So do you think that this whole exposure is going to lead to, do you think that all of the progressive stuff over the past few years is purely manufactured when you think about it? Because if you're feeding this from USAID into these outlets are then feeding it out to the public, making it seem as though these movements and these issues are bigger than they actually are. Does that mean the whole progressive movement was essentially propped up by, the U.S. government? I
mean, I think it was propped up to begin. It is propped up, but you only prop up until it can stand on its own 2 feet. And now I think is the test and to see if it stands on its own 2 feet, assuming that all of this is permanent, which is, I think, questionable. But I also want to say that we shouldn't call it USAID, because that makes it sound like they're just, it's just, malaria blankets in Africa. It's a lot more than that. It's United States Agency for International Development. I think they were involved in the 2014 Ukraine coup, right?
Sure were.
When you say aid, it kind of makes, I think it does for me at least. It makes me think that they're just out there trying to, solve the feed sick kids.
Framing.
Exactly.
That's fine. I'm just saying the name of the organization.
No,
That's like saying,
Michael did a lot. I'm not talking about you, Charles. It's not about you. That's a victim mindset. I was actually talking about Michael.
USAID.
Do you like that, Charles? Do you like it when I say that? Does that feel good?
USAID. Oh, you can respond, Charles.
No.
No, their USAID is a CIA front group. I'm sticking with my story, and there is interest in sowing division among the American people on racial, economic, cultural lines that has been fed. It's not entirely a creation of the deep state, but it is. They throw gasoline on the fire because they don't want us talking about them stealing all of our money and spending it on wars or whatever your gripe is, or letting people in through the southern border, or any of the other things that are actually meaningful. So yeah, I think some of it is intentional provocation of people and movements so that we fight with each other and not focus on big issues that we probably have common ground.
Well,
divide and conquer, I think, is the term.
Yeah. Art of war.
So do you think that this is sustainable? Well, okay. My thing is, with the changes, that's great. We'll have 4 years of them not doing this, but ultimately when the next president comes in, what's stopping them from just redoing it? But my second thing is, what I dislike is that this is pursuing this narrative that they're cutting government spending, when in reality, like, this is a drop in the bucket of what government spending is. I think they should have started with the defense money if they really wanted to take a big take a big bite out of spending. They should have started there, but they can't touch that. I wonder why. So I feel like this is just like low-hanging fruit that they knew would rile up the base, and they went there. Or alternatively, maybe they're using this as an opportunity to learn to look for efficiencies that they can then use this model for bigger departments and bigger departments and bigger departments, kind of testing it out on a small scale. So which one do you think it is?
Well, I think it's the latter, and I think it goes beyond that just a little bit, in that it all this stuff is outrageous, the things that are being pointed out, and I think it builds public support for going after bigger programs and bigger agencies.
Yep.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's not, yes, maybe it's practice runs and stuff like that to make sure that they're doing it right on small potatoes. But, to see people, like, all the major media outlets are talking about it, people are outraged. Like, how dare you, use my tax money to, funnel into these religious charity groups to bring in more migrants and yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm really angry about that. Yeah, now go after the military budget. I previously wouldn't have cared about the military budget. I'm a big neocon like Michael Searle. I want to bomb Iran. Mitch McConnell is my favorite politician. I love him. I have posters of him. But now you've shown me the way. Go after him.
Good job pronouncing Iran. Now, my next question is, what do you guys think about Trump's pitch to own Gaza?
Brad, you want to go first? You went first last time. I don't really know what to make of it. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the idea that we're going to control Gaza without the military seems not realistic. So if we're going to control Gaza and kick all those people out, I think that requires U.S. military presence. And haven't we learned that nation building or area building in the Middle East is a fruitless endeavor? So I'm cautiously optimistic because there's not a lot of details out there about what the heck he even means. So maybe there's some big grand strategy that I'm not privy to, but it seems messy, to say the least.
I don't know is this nation building because it's removing the nation, right? It's you Gazans, you Palestinians are not allowed. You're leaving forever, and now America owns it. So it's nation building in the sense that it's starting. It's like it's referred to as the Riviera, and whatever, Israeli if Riviera, whatever. I think it's we're going to be responsible for like removing all the landmines and like paying for all this stuff. It's basically cleaning up the mess after this what?
We paid to blow it up.
I mean, yeah, I guess we did pay to blow it up. So that kind of makes sense.
Right out of the Dick Cheney playbook.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting, right? It doesn't seem it's not something that Israel. It doesn't Israel want that land? It's like they're not getting what they want. The Palestinians don't get what they want. Now, I think the Palestinians might be getting short end of the stick a little bit.
Are they being removed physically?
I think that isn't that his pitch? Like he wants Jordan and Egypt and other places to take them in.
And then are they returning or are they gone for good?
I think they're gone for good.
Well, what I saw from the White House press secretary was she was showing images and she's like, they can't come back. There's nothing for them to come back to. And so it seemed as though she was indicating like, remove it. And then I guess that's it. Like, I don't know.
If there's nothing for them to come back to, then what are we doing? Like they could rebuild it. We could rebuild. Like we're saying, we're going to take it. We're going to rebuild it into something else. Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, I don't think they can.
Do they not have the H-1Bs to build things? I don't get it.
I mean, truly to have the resources to rebuild an entire country like that. Like, I don't know if I sent you guys that video on Instagram, but somebody was on a building kind of just looking out, and it's like piles of bricks, like for as far as the eye can see. You can't even see the roads in this certain section they were in. And I wouldn't even know where to begin. Where do you start sweeping?
Well, I think you just get a bulldozer and you just pile it up and you throw it into the ocean. Yeah. Like your car batteries, you throw them in the ocean.
Well, if they did throw them in the ocean, they could do what they did to downtown Manhattan and extend the island if you put enough of it in the ocean to flatten it out. So you could do that.
Look at that. There you go. Yeah, that's why Manhattan's so cool.
So thumbs up or thumbs down?
Sideways.
I don't know. I need more information. I think if you made me vote one way or the other, I would go down.
Oh man. Well, that's interesting. Thanks for that information, fella.
Is it just going to be a military base? Is that what's going to happen? Are we going to have more military?
He's saying it's going to be the Riviera of the Middle East.
I know, but what does that mean? Like, isn't that Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Can't we just let Dubai do that? Why do we have to do that?
Dubai.
Because Kushner wants to.
There you go. There's the answer.
Well, I mean, if it's the Riviera of the Middle East, it's the Riviera of the Middle East. But
Excellent point.
I just don't want. I'm not spending money on this when you can go 5 minutes down the road, and like I can't help but to think about all of the places that are not far from here and not far from. Well, you guys live in rich areas, but not far from some of these other areas that people are struggling, and we could be doing stuff for them. And every time I say that, people are like, well, we could do both, but we don't do both. We don't.
No, we can't do both. I definitely don't like the idea of forcibly displacing a bunch of people.
Do you think that if it happens, we'll need passports to go?
I don't know.
Excellent question. I don't know. Will we need passports?
You're already planning your trip.
No, I'm just curious, how far can you go without a passport kind of thing? Do you need global entry? Anyway, okay. So that's that. Next up.
What it's going to look like.
Pardon?
That's what it's going to look like. So it's going to be the Buc-ee's strip.
Oh, let's see what Brad's got.
Douglas Murray and Piers Morgan.
What happened?
I hate Douglas Murray. I hate
real
Douglas
fast
Murray.
while you can. See what he's got. Okay.
All
right.
I hate Douglas Murray.
So next up, Al Green, my congressman, announced that he's going to file articles of impeachment against Trump after Trump said that he was going to take over the Gaza Strip. Al Green called it ethnic cleansing and says, especially when it emanates from the president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
I approve of the choice of words, the action.
Al Green needs to change his name.
I think he's older than the other Al Green, so he had it first.
I mean, the other Al Green's 78. I don't know how old this Al Green is, Congressman Al Green.
Pretty old.
I mean, yeah, I get it. He walks with a cane, fine, but it's still like the other Al Green's better. Like he's a better
77.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so close. The other Al Green wins, but the other Al Green's so cool and like good and like has great music. And this Al Green shakes his cane and says dastardly things.
Dastardly deeds done.
Well, I mean, is it super unexpected the Democrats couldn't hold their impeachment load for? Did we make it a month? Not quite.
No.
Not quite. This is the first in a long string of meaningless impeachment threats from the Democrats during Trump's administration. And this is not the last one. Their Trump derangement syndrome is so strong that they can't even help themselves. They got wiped out in the election. They have learned nothing from it. And we're just going to see a bunch of these for the next 2 years.
Well, Al Green, who, by the way, first introduced articles of impeachment in 2017, then twice in 2019, and then his third time it was tabled. But he did also say that when the people demand it, it will be done. I did it before. I laid the foundation for impeachment, and it was done. Nobody knows more about it than I, and I know that it's time for us to lay the foundation again.
Gotta lay foundations. That's right. Al Green, he looks funny. Right?
It's interesting because he talks like if you hear him talk, him saying dastardly deeds would be fitting in how he speaks. So it's really funny.
Well, he also has a cane, so people with canes say dastardly, right?
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
Excellent.
Can you impeach someone for a proposal?
If it's dastardly enough, you can.
That's the only impeachable offense that can be proposed. That's proposed.
Yeah. What do you think, Charles?
Whether or not he should be impeached?
Yeah. Well, no, or about Al Green or any of it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's not unexpected, and it hasn't even been close to a month. Well, inauguration was January 21st, I think. So we're like 2 weeks in, and they're already trying to impeach him. I think we're going to see this come up for every single thing he does. He's going to wake up and breathe, and it's going to be, I cannot believe he took a side like that. We must start an impeachment process. And so I think we should expect to see this consistently over the next 4 years. But that's because that's all they've got, really. Like, I mean, they have to find a way to keep their base active and engaged and excited. And the only way they can really do that is by saying they're going to keep impeaching him. All the Jasmine Crockett, videos of her like flipping out in the not Texas House, in Congress, that's only going to get you so far. And so they got to keep ginning up the support some way. And I think this is their next best way. This and lawsuits.
Charles, what's your favorite Al Green song?
I don't have a favorite Al Green song.
You don't?
No, I mean, I like Al Green, but I'm not like a particular Al Green fan.
Okay, that seems. My God, I guess it's not. He's no Ice Spice. Am I right?
Al Green didn't sing "Heard It Through the Grapevine," did he? No.
I don't fucking know, man. But it's so depressing that you probably have a favorite Ice Spice song, but not an Al Green song.
No, I don't have a favorite Ice Spice song, actually.
You probably do, or a Beyonce song, or fucking some other.
I actually don't listen to Beyonce. I mean, I don't go out of my way to not listen to Beyonce, but I'm just not a Beyonce fan.
Okay, sure thing, bud. We all believe you.
Anyway,
how come you asked Charles and not me?
Because Charles and I were talking about the other Al Green, and I don't know, you didn't chime in at that moment, but I would love to hear if you also have a favorite Al Green song.
Let's Stay Together.
That's a great song. That is a really good song.
It is. Yeah.
No, Charles, you don't get to chime in on this. You don't.
I have an exquisite taste in music. FYI.
I mean, how do you determine? Like, who says so?
Nobody. Lisa.
Okay, so what's your favorite song?
Ooh, favorite song of all time?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. Favorite song.
You got that exquisite music taste, so
I couldn't just give you one. That's crazy.
3?
No.
All right.
Let's put a pin in this because you're putting me on the spot, and that's a very tough question of all the thousands and thousands of songs and the different genres. And like, I used to have back in the day when we had like Napster, remember that, or Kazaa,
LimeWire.
LimeWire. I had a playlist: country, hip hop, rock and roll, oldies, and they were all ranked 1 through 50.
Oh wow.
So that
you guys don't keep detailed like playlists like that and stuff in Apple Music today, or like I do.
No one uses Apple Music. Stop it.
Spotify. But.
Okay, well, Spotify sucks. And I use Apple Music, and I have my playlist separated and like gym rap, car rap, home rap, like just different.
Why is it all rap, Charles?
Well, I'm just talking about one genre specifically, but
yeah, I bet it's just that. I bet you're just talking about that one genre because it's only that one genre.
No, actually, the most I have in my phone is probably dance music, mostly techno and house.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, okay, sure thing, bud.
I'm like a techno and house connoisseur.
Okay, sure. That's why we've talked about it so many times, and you spend all your energy crying about Jay-Z when we talk about him.
Just because I can appreciate an artist doesn't mean that is my favorite artist or my favorite genre. Anyway, I know what you're doing. All right. So do you have a favorite song, Brad, that you'd like to share with us?
Nope.
Great.
Yep.
So I would like to talk about I don't. All right, we'll save it. We'll save that for a second. But let's talk about the let's talk about the sanctuary city funding and Pam Bondi freezing money going to sanctuary cities from the DOJ. And also, as we were coming on, I saw that she sued the city of Chicago over their sanctuary city status, which they have maintained for 40 years, apparently. I didn't know that 40 years ago this was a topic of conversation, but Chicago claims that they have been a sanctuary city for 40 years. Fun fact, Chicago is the biggest city in the country without a city charter. And so that's probably why it's ran like that. But neither here nor there. But yeah, so Pam Bondi is taking action against sanctuary cities. But for some reason, when you look at the list of sanctuary cities that she's taking action about, and not one of them is in Texas.
Well, because sanctuary cities are illegal here.
I mean, by law, but...
Sure, I know. I mean, I agree, but that's probably why, right?
Yeah.
I guess, but who cares? If they're violating the spirit of the law, go after the city of Austin.
I agree. I hope that the city of Austin suffers the full weight of of Pam Bondi, and she just body slams the city of Austin and removes all of their funding. I want the city of Austin to suffer greatly. I would love it. That would be better than all birthdays combined. I am 100% with you, and it's a sanctuary city in all but name. And fucking Zoe Kadri, city councilman, and Vanessa Fuentes, city council woman, have come out. They came out recently. I think we talked about it. Talking about how the city of Austin is going to fight back against all this bullshit and predict blah blah blah. Fucking Cheeto Vela sent out an email. He's councilman sent out an email to his constituents and his newsletter or whatever, talking about what to do and also. I mean, it's a sanctuary city. Remove all of their funding, make them suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Get him, Brad.
Yeah,
Brad's very mad at the city of Austin.
Always.
So I agree that they should go after Austin. They should stop giving funds to sanctuary cities. But how much money are we talking about that Pam Bondi has control over? And is that enough to make cities stop doing what they're doing? I'm assuming, let's take Austin, for example, or Houston.
No.
No, okay. Austin.
Houston is. We don't like. Let me not say that. We are not a sanctuary city.
We don't like what? You about to say Mexicans?
No, I was not.
It sounded like you were about to say we don't like Mexicans, Charles. I don't think that's true. You should speak for yourself when you say things like that.
We are not a sanctuary city. We've taken a hard stance against it.
I doubt it.
But how much money are we talking about here? Are we talking about the DOJ grants to the police department? Most of the police department's funding comes from local property taxes. They're certainly not stopping the equitable sharing programs for asset forfeiture. So that's not on the table. So how much money in grants is the city of Austin receiving from the DOJ that is now going to be stopped because of their sanctuary city status or non-status? I think it's a good move, politically. Is it going to have the intended effect? I would doubt it, unless a lot of these cities, cities like Baltimore maybe have a more substantial DOJ revenue stream, but for Austin, it would be pretty nominal, I would think.
Is it just DOJ revenue or is it all federal grants?
Well, it says in her letter, it says they should not receive access to federal grants administered by the DOJ, and it will exercise its own authority to impose any conditions of funding that does not violate the Constitution. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's purely what comes from the DOJ, which it fluctuates from city to city. I mean, some cities get more, some cities get less. But I wonder if this includes kind of the share of this asset forfeiture funds when local police departments take part with. You don't think they'll freeze that?
That's what I was saying. The equitable sharing program. Heck no. They're taking that from people, not like.
Oh right, you're right. Yeah.
I doubt. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they're saying we're not going to participate in equitable sharing with cities anymore, so they lose that. The DOJ loses that revenue stream. I
was wondering if, because while I know how the program works, I don't know exactly how the dollar works, like whether it's collected by the federal government and then the equitable sharing portions given back to the local, and maybe they won't do that. Like, I don't know how that function works. And so, but yeah, I mean, listen, it's not, if they said all government funding, it'd be a different story, obviously, but it's just DOJ funding, which is, and for local small departments.
According to Grok, the DOJ funds between probably $4 and $5 billion to different cities across the United States.
That's
and Seattle, like for instance, Seattle may have received $8 million from the DOJ. Now, it's not a lot of money, but I'm sure Seattle wants that money for something. I guess, they got to provide some seeds for the Chaz.
Yeah. We'll see. It doesn't seem that significant. It doesn't seem significant enough, but maybe this is just the first government agency that's doing this, right? Maybe, I doubt they're going to do FEMA because that's like a little extreme, but maybe next it's Department of Education, then Department of Energy, then Commerce. Maybe everybody comes out with the same rule and then it applies pressure that actually changes something on the local level.
Yeah, I'm looking at policefundingdatabase.org, and they track Austin grant funding from the federal government. Department of Justice is it probably adds up to $5 million if I had to ballpark it, but the police department is 400 million or 450 million.
Yeah. Well, so it's probably not going to make a big deal, just like a lot of other things that have happened so far that are just flashes in the pan, but everybody cheers them on.
Are we not allowed to celebrate the small wins, Charles?
I like it.
I listen, celebrate small wins, but we've got to keep pushing forward. We can't get distracted.
Hell yeah. I hope you're listening, Donald Trump. That's the attitude. Keep pushing forward. Onward, ho.
Yeah, there's that. So we now know what's going to happen there. So we'll see. Now to the story of the century.
Uh-oh.
Miss Onijah Robinson. So I've been really excited about this story. Brad, have you heard of Onijah Robinson?
Onijah Robinson?
Yes.
No idea.
Onijah Robinson is a young woman.
Do you know, has Michael heard of this person?
Yeah, he's been laughing about this the whole time.
I did 30 minutes of diligence on it. It was the best time I've ever spent.
So this video is going to be a little long because it's going to consolidate a lot of her clips. Onijah Robinson's a young woman from the Bronx who fell in love with a Pakistani man.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And
19-year-old.
Pakistani.
She's 33. Yep.
And she moved there to be with him, and he does not want to be with her now. And so she is refusing to leave Pakistan, and she's making a big, I don't want to call it a stink about it, but she's making a big deal about it. And we're going to see.
It's Pakistan. It stinks.
About the American woman who flew to Pakistan and was ghosted by her teen husband. 30 Onijah Robinson from New York flew to Karachi, Pakistan in October of 2024 to marry her 19-year-old online boyfriend, Nadal Ahmed Memon. Once she got there, though, Memon's family forbade them from tying the knot, and now she's refusing to leave the country.
I don't live here, I'm chilling.
Robinson has since caused a media stir, claiming that she and Memon actually are married, and also making demands from the government that they give her money and invest in local housing.
Pakistan needs to be reconstructed the right way. Do you hear me, guys? Make sure y'all get this on your camera. I'm married to Nigel Hamid. I'm Onijah Hamid. We are moving to Dubai very soon. We're going to have our baby in Dubai. I want $20K up front, $5K to $10K to stay here every week.
Every week.
I just move, me and my family, and I want those demands from the government right away. I want these houses to be built up correctly, and I want pools in the backyard.
With her newfound fame, Robinson appears to be living large in the foreign land, sipping on tea, counting wads of cash, and dining at McDonald's. Meanwhile, The Independent reported that a man claiming to be Robinson's son gave an interview with Pakistan.
All right. I mean, go ahead.
What was her demand? What was she asking for weekly?
20 grand up front and 5 to 10 grand every week.
Oh, okay. From the Pakistan.
US dollars.
That's great. So, Charles, I just want, as you're watching that, I want you to know that that's what you sound like when you're talking about housing.
No, okay. So, I mean, there's really not much to say about this. This story has just captivated like I've been so focused on this for the past like 4 or 5 days. I don't know why. It is so funny. This woman, as they said, moved there. And what ended up, the story was that she got there. They got married online, allegedly. She got there. The kid saw her. He's like, I don't want to be married to you. He left. His parents were like, no, this isn't happening. Took him away. And then she said, I'm going to stay in like, it's kind of like a basement area of their apartment building. And I'm not leaving until the government gives me $20,000 a week. And she stayed there and has been there ever since. And for some reason, whenever she calls a press conference, they like bring 30 cameras and she gets to hold these press conferences and talk about how she wants to rebuild Pakistan.
I mean, is it that boring over there? Like there's nothing else going on. There's not like scuffles on the border with India that they need to be covering. Why are they covering her? I mean, she's from the Bronx. She's just a Bronx queen, and that's the Bronx queen attitude. And if they're not careful, there's going to be a lot more Bronx queens over there. And they're going to fucking wreck house on Pakistan.
And another crazy part is I've been really watching all this. So I go on all the videos on Instagram and then you look in the comments and you have Americans saying like, this is so embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. But you have an overwhelming number of Pakistanis who are like, we love her. She's elevating our country. Like we need her. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like what is going on right now? So this has been a very interesting thing. And so I'm curious, you guys might just be able to go to any third world country, a developing nation, and just say like, you're not leaving and you demand $20K from the government in USD and become famous.
I do not have that Bronx queen energy. I could not get away with that.
So when I first started watching these videos, I was like laughing and I was like, am I making fun of somebody with like mental problems? And then I was like, actually, no. Actually, hear me out. I think she's a genius. What's his name? Nakbal Muhammad doesn't exist. Does not exist. Where is he?
He's not appeared once. Not once.
That guy doesn't exist. She's building a massive social media following off of this. Probably millions and millions and millions of subscribers. And she's going to make a bunch of money off of that. So I think she's a genius. And I want more of this. We need more of this all the time.
I did not think of that theory, but you're right. He's not appeared once. No family member has appeared once. The news hasn't been able to find them. So maybe they don't exist. And there was one video where she was eating McDonald's with one hand and her phone in the other. And somebody came and shook her hand to thank her. And she shook their hand with the hand she was eating with. And then she put the phone in that hand and then started eating with the other hand. And people in the comments were like, see, she's not crazy. She knows, like, she's not eating after she shook his hand. So that was the occasion.
Yeah, that's dangerous. You don't want to do that.
Did you see all the videos of other men in Pakistan saying they want to marry her?
Yes.
Well, my theory might fall apart because I don't know if she has social media accounts, but that's what I'm going to believe, that she's actually a genius. She's a social media genius. She concocted this whole story. She went over there and she's blowing it up and she's going to make a bunch of money because she's going to be a celebrity.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a reality show out after this, or like, and she did get some money from the government. They gave her some. I don't know how much, but she was
anything to shut her up. They're gonna fold for sure. Please
didn't they offer to like pay for her plane ticket to Dubai and like trying to get her out of there?
They offered her a plane ticket to Dubai, a plane ticket back to New York. She rejected both. and of some other things, and she said no. And whenever they ask her, like, well, what are you doing? What's the plan? She's like, it's against my religion to tell y'all my business. And so,
fucking amazing. That's so good.
And last point, the best point of it all, her McDonald's order, 2 large fries. 2 large fries. Let's go.
That's it? Just 2 large fries?
That's it. That's it.
That's a lot of seed oils. That's probably why she's acting this way. How do you spell it then?
They don't use seed oils in Pakistan. How do
you they do.
Onijah.
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 It's an E.
Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, great! It's the big weekend. It is the weekend that every sports fan waits for. It's the weekend that we break out the big green eggs, that we pop open the supersized bag of Doritos or Tostitos, depending on how you feel. It's the weekend that the EGLES beat Kansas. It is the Super Bowl weekend. How are you guys feeling about it? Who do you think is going to take home the trophy? Will Taylor be there? How long is the national anthem last note going to last? Who's Kendrick bringing out on stage? Will Trump stand for the Black national anthem?
Will he stand for the Black national anthem? Are they going to play it this year?
They do it every year.
For how long?
I don't know, 5 years. I don't know.
No, I don't think he's going to stand for the Black national anthem. Who's going to win?
What the Black national anthem is?
We talked about this once, and no, I don't remember.
That's interesting.
It's not. It's really. I mean, it's not. This conversation only comes up during Super Bowl when they try to divide us and have different national anthems, and it's just like, come on, guys, there's one national anthem.
The Black national anthem. Anyway, we're not doing this.
Go ahead.
No.
You brought it up. What's the Black national anthem? I mean, there's probably Lisa probably doesn't know what it is.
The Black national anthem is a song called "Lift Every Voice." It's an old school hymn that Black people would sing in church, and eventually it started to become what was known as the Black national anthem because it was kind of like a rallying cry against oppression. And so I don't know when they started playing the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure it was during the whole George Floyd era, if I'm not mistaken. It was called the Black National Anthem before that, but because it then took a front seat during that era, a lot of people started rejecting it and getting upset, despite the fact that people have called it that for 100 years.
Yeah, well, I don't know who's going to win. I don't really. I got to look at the numerology, see who they've already picked to win. I don't know.
Kansas City's gonna win. I hate it. Sorry, man. I'm rooting for the Eagles. Kansas City's probably gonna win. Do you really bet against the 2-time champions?
Yes.
In a row?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Kansas City's probably gonna win. I don't know that I'm gonna watch it.
Why?
Because I'm a 49er fan. And I don't particularly like the Eagles, and the Chiefs have beat us in the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years, and I hate watching them win. I hate it more since Taylor Swift has been involved, and Travis Kelce, Mr. Pfizer, now that he's winning Super Bowls. Just drives me crazy. Who's Kendrick Lamar going to bring out? Onijah Robinson. Let's go. Fly her back, put her on stage, give her $20K up front. Let's go. Let her rap.
Oh my God. I would die. Oh man, that would be everything I needed.
And Trump will stand for the Black national anthem.
I don't think he will.
Okay, but you really have no predictions on who Kendrick's going to bring out? Neither of you? I guess neither of you care.
I mean, I have a prediction. I'm trying to remember his name though.
Where is the Super Bowl this year?
Nolans.
Nolans?
Yep.
I think it's gonna be Rick Ross.
Ricky Rose?
Mm-hmm. I bet it's gonna be Rick Ross.
That's a weird prediction, but okay.
Why is that a weird prediction?
Out of everybody he could bring out, why would you assume he's gonna bring out Rick Ross?
Why not? Why is someone else better? Is it gonna be Ice Spice? Do they want to ruin everyone's evening?
They would not bring out Ice Spice. That's just
Why is that? Because she doesn't actually know how to sing. She just mumbles.
Okay, why you're being obsessed with Ice Spice?
That's because you are. I'm just trying to relate to you.
Anyway,
Who do you think, Charles? Let's go.
Oh man, that's a great question. I didn't expect it, but I think well, we know SZA. We know that's one. I think that's been confirmed.
We know who?
SZA.
SZA. I don't know who that is. As a SZA?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Oh really? Oh, she. Well, check her out. She's good.
She's probably not, but that's all right.
So we know SZA. Other than that, I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to think about it, and I just can't. I mean, he's got collaborations with a ton of people, but
if I played SZA's music, would we get kicked off YouTube?
Probably. We get demonetized. 2022 wasn't Kendrick Lamar in the Super Bowl, and he brought on like Dre and Snoop Dogg and.
Well, Dre. It was Dre's show, and he brought on
Kendrick Lamar.
Right? Yeah. But Kendrick he's collaborated with Taylor. That could be a thing.
Hey, can y'all hear this when I do this? Can y'all hear that? No, nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Don't do that then.
And Lil Wayne he's collaborated with as well. However, and it's in New Orleans. But however, the Rift he might not come out. I don't know.
There's
but
a Rift?
do you see Lil Wayne just announced he has an album coming out June 6th?
Nope. No.
Anyway, so who knows? We'll see. But I guess we'll see.
Is Trump going to stand for the Black National Anthem, Charles?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's gonna
That's the right
sit.
choice. He's not going to kneel.
It's a hymn. I mean, I feel like everybody should stand for a hymn.
Just any old hymn? All of them?
I wouldn't call any old hymn. There's only a certain. What do you mean?
They should stand anytime a hymn, any hymn, anytime you stand for it.
Yeah.
What are you, Catholic?
Do you? No, but I mean, you don't stand for hymns? Like I don't. What do you guys do? Sit, sleep?
I don't know. Is that proper? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
Is it? I don't believe you.
I mean, I think there are times in which they let you sit, but yeah, I think generally speaking, you stand.
I'm an American. I'll sit when I want to sit.
Well, great. Tell that to your senior pastor.
So you asked how long the final note of the national anthem might be, and I think you were talking about the actual national anthem. What's a ballpark? Like, what are we supposed to guess with that? What is 10 seconds too short? Is 1 minute too long?
Is 1 minute? Yeah, I think.
Well, who's singing the national anthem?
Good first question.
You don't even know?
No,
is it Whitney? Because Whitney might. Well, she's dead. But if it were Whitney, she might hold the last note for like 40 seconds.
She would hold it for a long time. She could belt it.
I think she actually has the holds. Not, I don't know if there's a record.
Who is it?
For the longest, John Batiste.
Oh, gross! Less than 10 seconds. I don't even know who that is, but it's disgusting. Less than 10 seconds.
Sport. Well, they're betting on the entire song, and so with Sportsbook, MGM is saying they're placing the over under at 120.5 seconds.
John
Batiste.
Jonathan Michael Batiste, an American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, band leader, composer, and television personality. It looks like he could hold a note for a very long time, and it looks like he's one of those people that would be like a little bit showy, like wants to show off and like win that record. So I'm gonna go. Why do I say just the attitude?
Is it his hair?
It's the Riz it's his aura, as the kids would say.
Well,
I'm going to go for a very long time. I think he's going to break the record.
Just some history here. Demi Lovato, Chris Stapleton, they were under the gambling line. Reba, Eric Church, Jasmine Sullivan, they were over. Reba clocked the shortest anthem in the past decade at 1 minute and 34 seconds. Chris Stapleton was in 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
For the entire song.
The entire song.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to say 126 seconds, 0.8.
What the fuck?
2 minutes and 6 seconds, 0.8.
I'm going to say he breaks the record. Whatever the record is, he breaks it.
1 minute 45 seconds.
Oh, that's short.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Whitney's national anthem was 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So that's I think she sang that was in 91. I don't know if that's the longest one, but that sounds pretty long.
Well, he's gonna win.
Wow, really? You think so?
Yeah, he looks like a Bronx queen. He's gonna
okay. So the longest one in history was Alicia Keys, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Just second to her was Natalie Cole at 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Alicia Keys ain't got nothing on John Batiste. I'll tell you that much right now. I didn't know who John Batiste was when you first said his name, but I've looked at his picture and I can confidently tell you he's gonna beat her.
All right. Well, great. So, did you give a prediction for who you think is going to win the game?
I mean, it's New Orleans and it's the Chiefs and the Eagles. Is that right? So if you do the math,
yes.
What?
Yes.
There's going to be no winners in this game. We're all losers. It's bread and circus, guys. It's just a distraction.
Just pick a team.
Team America. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Okay.
And they're going to beat the spread.
Go.
Okay.
Birds.
Eagles are going to beat the spread. Mark it down. Go place your bets. Don't place bets. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do not take financial advice from me.
I think that they are predicted to lose in the betting markets. So beating the spread would just be that they lose by less than they're expected to lose by.
Do you guys know why I keep misspelling Eagles?
I didn't notice that you were misspelling them. You were misspelling them.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Eagles.
Here, I'll show you why as we wrap up. I'll show you.
Eagels? Is that what you're saying?
Indeed, yes.
Eagels.
1% clear. Traveling to the Eagles game today is essential travel. If you are driving, just go slow, but get there. If you are catching SEPTA and mass transit, just get on mass transit and get there. But making it to our Philadelphia Eagles game on today is essential. Thank you all so very much. And we now want to take some questions. Any? Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say ELGLES. Eagles!
Way to go. Hey, Charles, I would love to open that back up and look at some of those suggested videos that you have there. The sex capital of Colombia, Medellin. 3 months of a fat jab, and I'm done with it. What are you looking at, Charles?
Everything and anything? No, I don't know.
Oh, my. I mean, there was one that was normal, like something about a CEO's diary or whatever. Maybe you're looking at some self-improvement, business-minded stuff. CEO's diary. Looking at some trying to up your game a little bit, up your skill level.
Yeah, none of that was relevant for anything I've been searching lately. But...
I don't believe you at all. I don't believe you.
Well, this was a great.
Were you looking for? I mean, that was sex capital of Colombia, Medellin. Were you looking for sex capital of like Venezuela, or where did you go? Guatemala? I think you went there recently. Peru? Were you looking for sex capital of Peru?
Maybe that could have been it. Peru, I do hear, is very nice. So,
about what? What do you mean?
I hear it's a nice country.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you hear that about every country.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do, except for North Korea. But even that, like, you probably hear it. Like, it's I would love to go to North Korea. That would be awesome.
I've never heard anyone say that, but
Why?
Thanks for tuning in.
It's frozen in time, and you're never going to experience something like that again. And so, like, if you don't go see it now, you're never going to see that.
That's fine,
right?
Go to the Amazon. Go to the middle of the Amazon.
That's true too. You go to the middle of the Amazon, and that's a different experience. And I think the same argument would apply, right? But like, you're not going to see like a communist. Hopefully, you're not going to see a communist. Like Soviet style 1950s country ever again.
I don't really have an interest in it.
Yeah, because you don't have an open mind. You're like closed minded.
Hey, well, go to North Korea and let us know how it is. Send pictures.
You just like Houston for some reason.
He's making a compelling case.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the BCM Podcast. Go ELGLES this weekend and hope to see those birds take it home. and fly away with the trophy, because we know that Philly is a great city, maybe not the best city, but a great city. And they have worked hard for this. They deserve it. And
Gross.
Make sure you like, share, comment. If you share us, we might give you a hat. There's some hats left, I think, but thank you. And let us know if you like this time better, recording, live, whatever. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear. Anything left, guys?